Good evening guys, Teach here and welcome back to the Fergie way and welcome back to my dining room. One thing I've never pointed out is up that way somewhere, look at that, boss hanging above the fireplace. Rightfully so, where he deserves to be. So in the last episode, of course, we did well. We had a 4-game gap and we were coming back to play Borussia Dortmund, which is in today's episode. So what we'll do is we'll run the intro, I'll see you on the other side and we'll see how we got on since the last episode. So in the last episode, guys, we did destroy Spurs 4-0. And from there, we did have our first game in the Champions League against Kiev. And as you can see, it was a convincing victory at that as well. We did run out with the possession. We ran out with the game in general. Memphis, once again, coming back into form as a striker. As you can see from the squad, I played a very, not a weak team. I don't have a weak team anymore. These youngsters, complete faith in them to do the job that I request of them. But nonetheless, I played more of what I would call my second string team, with Sanchez in there as well, who managed to get himself an assist, which was nice. But Memphis Depay grabbing 2. And if you take a look, our new number 10, Angel Gomez, scoring, and not only that, he does become the Champions League youngest ever goal scorer at 17 years and so many days, minutes, seconds, I don't know, but he was the youngest. And then we went from there for an away visit down to Watford. We played Watford, we won 2-0. Juan Mata getting on the score sheet along with Ibrahimovic. One of those games, very scrappy. I mean, just look at the amount of yellow cards going round. I mean, I had to clip some ears when I got back into the dressing room that day, let me tell you. How we didn't have a man sent off, because it's a scrappy game from both teams. You know, really, really scrappy. But we came away with a win. Pretty happy. It did keep our sort of momentum going in the league. We're currently unbeaten at this point. So, yeah, 3 points in the bag. Lovely jubbly. And from there, we did have a EFL Cup tie against Newcastle. We were at Old Trafford, and once again, relatively speaking, or pretty much, I'm sure, a completely unchanged team. With the likes of Memphis once again getting a goal, and of course Rashford. The great thing about Pogba here is, we take a look at it, he came on in the 68th minute and scored in the 70th. Literally, it must have been first touch of the ball. Certainly the first touch of the ball in the highlights. But yeah, convincing win. It's 50-50 possession. That sort of belies the result a little bit. It makes it sound like Newcastle were in the game. No, they wasn't. Not at all. Not in the slightest bit were they ever in any control of the game. We ran out 3-0 winners, and deservedly so. For what it's worth, we'll see in the schedule in a second, but we did get Millwall in the next tie. Pretty sure we're away from home as well, so it should be a good trip for the young lads. We then had an away trip to Leicester, and I'll be honest, this game was relatively tricky. Now, we went ahead on a penalty off Ander Herrera, who had just got back into the fold following his suspension, and scored from the spot. And from then on out, even though the possession and the shots are very, very heavily weighed in our favour, the shots were shite. The possession was okay, but there was always that fear that we weren't just quite going to cut it, and in typical FM fashion, I'm watching it and watching what I believe to be the final highlight. Herrera pops up again, bags another goal, gives us a 2-0 victory, and we're still on a completely and utterly win streak, which is great for us. We are hoping for more of a challenge this season, but I believe that challenge is going to come in the Champions League. Real Madrid have already sort of shown us how good the European stronghold teams can be. So to be doing well in the league at this stage, it's good. You know, it's good. I mean, I think we'll have a look at the league now. We'll take a glance. And as you can see, we are currently 5 points ahead in the league when everybody's played the same amount of games, which is ridiculous. Carrying a goal difference of 12, closest to us being 8. Obviously not lost yet. We've got maximum points. No one really on the score sheets up at the top goal scoring charts. It's good to see. Well, not good to see, but Simone Zaza obviously had a great Europa League last year. He's continued his form into the Premier League this year, so he's doing well for West Ham. And our strikers have sort of all sat on, I think Pogba scored as many goals as any of our strikers. Zlatan and Rashford are both on 4, as is Pogba. So, from a striking point of view, something's not going right, but you have to remember that I'm trying to play the likes of Gribbin and Gomez in behind the strikers, so their feed will be a little bit less when Mata's not on the pitch. But certainly Pogba this year has been playing his socks off. He's been doing really well. As you can see, we're picking up player of the matches, but other than that, and well, Dave the Save, obviously with 5 clean sheets out of the 7 games, there's not really a right lot else going on in here. No surprise packages really up at the top of the league, I would say, at the moment. As we can see, obviously Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Sunderland maybe a little bit of a surprise. Chelsea and Liverpool sat outside the European spots, much as they did for most of last season. And not really anyone unsurprising down in the bottom three. So in a couple of other little bits of news, we can see this Orange Arrow sat on Gribbin here, and it is basically because he did take an injury. Unfortunately so for him, he is currently out for 4 to 5, well, it's showing 3 weeks now, but he did get a 4 to 5 week injury. Shame for the lad because he's getting a lot of game time. However, when he comes back in, I'll certainly get him straight back into the fold. And the only other bit of news I have, and this is, it's not a tip, really. If you use your head, it's a sensible thing to do. Came up on my newsfeed that Zlatan had parted company with his agent, and I saw it as an ideal time to swoop in, get a fresh contract out of him without having to pay some suit a right load of money to stand in between us talking. So I went and spoke to Zlatan. He wanted a 2-year deal. He wanted, I think it's 275 grand a week. Got it down to 235 grand a week for 2 years, which will maybe see his playing days out. But either way, tying him back down because having these youngsters who I'm trying to bring into the team, I need to keep age and experience in the squad where possible. And Zlatan, I still believe will be able to do the job at 37, 38, maybe even 39 if he sticks around long enough. So for me, no brainer. Get him while he had no agent. Job's a good one. So one thing I do want to try and do in these European games in this season, of course more because we're in the Champions League, it holds a lot more importance, is not spend a load of time, but just a quick look. And as we can see here, Borussia Dortmund's schedule, they've drew a couple, but they've only lost once, and that was away to Wolfsburg. So it does indicate that we're at Old Trafford, we're at the Fortress, let's be honest, the theatre of dreams, the fortress of dreams at the moment, and the way that my career's been going while I've been at United. But nonetheless, they've been playing well. So they are going to bring a little bit of a surprise package here and there. We can see in the goal scoring charts along the side there. I mean, Marco Reus, Aubameyang, grabbing a good number of goals between them. So they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I think it's always going to be worth having a quick look at this page just so that we can get an idea as to how well or not we're going to play against the bigger teams. So we're at the match day now, guys, and as we can see, the press are basically giving it to us. We are playing at home. I'll be honest, this is a game I expect to win, but with it being the stronger team in the group, it's certainly one that I wanted to live com for you guys. Certainly should be one of the most interesting games. However, that being said now, you watch, we'll stomp these and then we'll go get our ass kicked off the shit team in the group. But yeah, by the by, this was definitely one for a live com. We've been made evens by the bookies. Dortmund out at 11 to 5. Everyone's making it look like it should be a rollover, but why do I get that feeling when everyone's saying that it's maybe not quite going to be the case? As you can see, Paul Pogba, our key man, and unsurprisingly, world-class Marco Reus, their key man. So we are onto the team sheet, guys, and as per usual, we will start with the home team, which is, of course, us. And as you can see, I've gone for strong as I can, really, as strong as what's available to me. With maybe the exception up top, but I'll get round to that when we get up there. So as you can see, we've got De Gea in the sticks and Alaba at left back. We have Eric Bailly and Smalling as a centre-back pairing with Sidibe playing at right-back. Sidibe started quite well, to be honest, in truth. Not set the world on fire, but he's been good, solid, not conceding goals from down that side, so we're doing quite well. Schneiderlin playing the defensive midfield role. Sanchez being the supportive player, and, of course, Pogba, who's playing out of his skin at the minute as the advanced playmaker. We have Juan Mata as a trequartista, and then we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic as a complete forward. And I chose to go with Depay today based on recent form. Obviously, Rashford's not done too bad, but the last 5 games form, Memphis is sort of kicking ass, really. He's playing a lot better than Rashford is. So yeah, that's why I went with him. We will move on to the Dortmund team, and they've got Berkel in net with Guerrero at left back, Matthias Ginter and Barter at centre backs with Piszczek at the right. They have Castro and Weigl. I think it's Weigl. Is that like really, really good central midfielder in Germany? Weigl will go with. Weigl will go with. And then we have Schürrle out left, Götze in the middle, and Marco Reus out right, which I'm surprised thought I would have seen Reus playing on the left. And of course, the lightning quick, yet not got a right lot else in any other area, Aubameyang playing up top. I'm going to rue saying that. I know I am. So we'll move on to Roy Keane and see who he wants to lay the boot into today. And, well, what's quite surprising is he has got us tight marking, which he don't usually do, Roy. He doesn't have us tight marking anybody, not Not ordinarily, not in any game, but of course, it's quite a big European game. He's marking out Mario Götze. That's the guy we should be tight marking. And I would definitely say, no, other than that, I'm not going to change anything. We have faith, Roy. All right, don't stare at me like that, Roy. So into the team talk, and we will calmly tell them to pick up where they finished the last match. It's not done a right lot. We will probably get the defence, let them know that we believe we've got what it takes. And at that, guys, we'll just go into the game. It's Mata into Ibrahimovic. Memphis now. Couldn't find the space, but Sanchez does. Blazes it over the bar. Sanchez, he's started all right. You know, it cost a lot of money, but he's not been bought for now. He's been bought for the period of his contract and hopefully a little bit further than that. You know, but definitely going to be a worldie. I mean, understandably so. I mean, them stats are ridiculous for his age. It's Mata with a corner now, out to Pogba. Pogba's brought it down, forces a shot. This is what Pogba's doing this season. I'm not seeing many highlights where he's just spooning it over the bar. He's really sort of getting his head over the ball and keeping the ball. It's gone out of play there, guys. But keeping his head over the ball and actually laying good shots from distance as well, which has been all I want from him. I hate on FM when you have these players that take shots from 30 yards and they can't do anything with it. They'll all go over the bar. It's Piszczek here, playing it back to the keeper. Mata's picked it up. Ibra now. Ibra's trying to find space, but he's not got those legs anymore. They're slowly going. He's going to be turning into a bit of a statue player before long. He'll just get the ball, play the pass, you would hope, and not try and run around. But it's Pogba now. Ibra's making space in the middle. Pogba to Ibra. 1-0. You're seeing Ibra sort of creeping like he does between the defenders. And when you know you've got someone with a good passing range like Pogba, basically it was always going to score. Look at Ibra there. Escapes his man, gets ahead of him. 1-0 United. Ibrahimovic the scorer. And 17 minutes gone. So we've got to be pretty pleased with that now. As Guerrero's on the ball for Dortmund. It's Castro, Aubameyang. Smalling steps in, strips it off. And Memphis tries sending Ibra but fails. Memphis on the ball again. Loses the ball. Memphis. And Smalling manages to get ahead of Aubameyang. No threat coming from Dortmund at the moment as Pogba plays it out to Mata. Renato Sanchez now into Ibrahimovic. Ibra's got 3 men round him. Great ball off Pogba. 2-0. Do you know what? We'll say it now. Pogba's assists at the end of this year, he'll have more assists than anyone in Europe throughout the league, throughout everything. So we'll come back to it at the end of the season. Paul Pogba, in fact, I'll write it down. We have to come back to it in this season review because I bet you he does. Bet you. Sanchez now to Mata. Sidibe. Schneidlin. Pogba plays it again. Memphis blazes over the bar. Not really having a great game today, are you there, young Memphis? He's had a few. It's not just his opportunities on goal. It's the mistakes. He's lost the ball a couple of times in the middle of the park, which is why I love playing on extended. You get to see a lot more of what's going on. It's Pogba now. Pogba loses the ball. Not like him this season. It's Aubameyang. Plays it out to Guerrero. Oh, Sidibe. Nearly managed to intercept it, but he did lose his man because of it. It's Mata. We will counter via Memphis. Ibra's trying to lurk in. Ibra's got space. Oh, nodded at the keeper. Remains 2-0, guys, but we are only in the 24th minute. I feel like I've been live coming forever already. It's Götze, plays it into Aubameyang. Aubameyang does nothing. He had no choice but to try and slap a shot. Gets nowhere with it, but it does force a corner. Royce will take it. Royce whips it in. Dave the save. Leaping out there. No issue whatsoever. It's Guerrero now. Into Sidibe. Mata. Memphis. Memphis will try and run. Run, Memphis. Pogba. Sanchez. It's only a soft shot. You know, Pogba is just playing so many little slide balls into the attacking players at the moment. It's working out an absolute treat. Sidibe now. Schneidlin. Mata will play Ibra. Shoot Ibra. It's gone in. 3-0, guys. Ibrahimovic found his clinical touch again. We are only at the beginning of the season. Bearing in mind, last year it took him a long time to get going. He played the linchpin role last season as Mata plays him in there. He's got 4 defenders round him. Manages to put his shot away. The big Swede doing it again. Aubameyang has just been injured. For Dortmund, it'll be interesting to see who they bring on. Lacazette. They got quite a good team going off over there. Probably still won't beat Bayern Munich, but hey, Bundesliga for you. We are in half time, guys. So, Everyone's playing well, with unsurprisingly the exception of Memphis Depay. So I'm going to tell them as much. Pleased with the performance, but I am going to tell Memphis assertively, not happy with his performance. He's looking fired up. Hopefully he can turn that into something in the second half. I would say he's probably got 15 to 20 minutes to try and do something before he's grabbed off by the scruff of his neck. We'll chuck young Rashford on and see if he can do a better job. It's Guerrero now. Sanchez did try taking it from it. It's Nuri Sahin. End of the highlight. First highlight syndrome. It's Alaba to Memphis. Pogba, Memphis. Memphis is going to play it into Mata. Mata scores again. 4-0, guys. Juan Mata. 2 goals for him, 2 goals for Zlatan. And once again, Pogba being involved with a little pass there. Memphis, who's not had the best of games, has provided an assist now. I don't think it's enough to save him. He's probably going to have to go on a bit of a ripper, grab a goal or 2 in the next 15 minutes. Or he'll still be coming off because it would be good to give Rashford a run out. And I'll probably look to bring on one of the kids as well if I can. It's Sahin now pressing forward. Lacazette, the substitute, taking a shot from distance. That is what Dortmund have been limited to by our strong defence today. They've had 4 shots, only 1's hit the target. And yeah, so it's Alaba now. Sanchez, he will shoot from distance, and again, soft shot, not enough power behind the ball. He is only young, he's only new in the team as well, he needs time. Memphis has picked it out now, so we will counter-attack. It's 2-on-2, it's Ibra. Ibra will play it back to Memphis. Memphis' chance is off. That's it. Rage sub. He's got to come off. He had a really, really good chance, and he's had a couple of good chances now. And, Socrates did take down Alaba. Yeah, he had to come off that, guys, I'm afraid. Obviously, he hadn't booked his ideas up that much. It's a clear-cut chance. It's one we should score. I mean, we've only had 3 of them. We're 4-0 up. I can't complain too much. But nonetheless, give Rashford half an hour. See if he can do any better. So 70th minute, guys. I'm going to bring off yellow-carded Bailly. I'll just bring on Twinzabe. More just to make sure nothing crazy goes on. As Pogba's just picked up a booking as well. Bookings are creeping into our game this year. Excuse me. And, of course, we didn't have that many last year. Not really, and not that many red cards, but early signs this season seems to be that the temperament of the guys has waned a bit. Might have to get a little bit more, bring the hammer down a little bit on these guys who keep picking up constant bookings. As Ibrahimovic lines up a free kick, goes out as far as Sidibe. Sanchez now, he's got 3 men round him. He did have to play it backwards, end of the highlight. And what we will do is, even though Mata has had an absolute screamer playing a 9.5, we'll just bring on young Gomez, give him a little bit more experience against a big European team, and with a little bit of look at ladies' development. It's what these players want, as Royce puts one over the bar for Dortmund. And we are in what looks like we're going to be heading into the final highlight any second now, guys. It's been a good live com, I think. We've won 4-0. They've not really challenged us that much, but it's been good to watch. There's Schneiderlin now, Twinzabe, Pogba, Alaba. Alaba has been a revelation as well. Rashford. I think it was a bad deflection. Yeah, it's gone down as an own goal for Socrates, but nonetheless, it was made by Alaba. Rashford gets on it, hits a shot, very fortuitously, comes off Socrates. Poor bugger, puts it in his own goal. 5-0 United. And that will be putting us into the final highlight. We'll walk out 5-0 at Old Trafford, and good result. Well, that's 2 wins in 2 in Europe, of course. As you can see, the lads played an absolute blinder. We'll passionately tell them that we're very pleased with the result and the performance, but we definitely want to speak to Mata and say he was spectacular. He deserved a breather. Also, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, calmly, you impressed me out there. And, of course, the resilient Paul Pogba, who's just... The first season, obviously, it wasn't a purchase of mine. He was already on the game, but there's a lot of Pogba hype going on, especially if you're a United fan, because he came back home, as it were. So I wanted him to do well. And there was at times last season when I'm sort of thinking, it's a lot of money here. World-class midfielder, but you're just not cutting it, And I wouldn't sell him because he's the boys from the club. That's why he came home. But this season, different class. So, guys, looking at the schedule. Now, bear in mind, I'm doing an episode every day here, guys. So I'm trying not to put too big a gaps between fixtures. I get a lot of the other content creators, they do that. They'll go away, they'll play 3, 4, sometimes even 7 games, and they'll come back. But for me, because I'm putting out an episode every night, I want you guys to experience most of my games with me. You know, I'm hoping you're enjoying it that way. It's certainly the way I want to do it. You know, any suggestions about maybe just changing it up a little bit, you know, bang them in the comments. We can thrash it out. As long as you guys are enjoying it, that's all that really matters to me. But for me personally, doing an episode every night, for me, just leaving a game or two as a gap is ideal, because I want to progress on with it. When I'm not on camera, I play the game exactly the same. I don't turn off all the highlights and all the replays and all that sort of crap just to finish a game through. So when I leave big gaps, there's a lot of time that I've got to catch up on, as well as edit a video and get everything set up to put it out on YouTube. So for me, like gaps of a couple of games or a game or two here and there. I mean, sometimes if the fixtures are absolute garbage, then I'll just wrestle through it, guys. It's no issue whatsoever. But what I am going to do in tomorrow's episode is I'm going to do the away game at Sunderland. So there'll just be West Ham in between the episodes. We'll come back for the Sunderland game, and then the episode after that, we'll come back for the City game, which is an absolute given anyway. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, guys. I did. A good result, 5-0 against Borussia Dortmund, who, of course, when we seen by the time they brought subs on the likes of Lacazette, they had a really strong team. But it does show that my squad is maybe capable of certainly going far in Europe. We hope to go far, but can we mount a serious challenge? Don't know. Shove it in the comments. What do you think, guys? How far are we going to get? So on that note, thanks again for coming. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the sub button. Also, if you check out my videos and you don't want to watch, the other 25 videos that I've gone before, I did do a season 1 end of season review, so you can have a quick catch up on that and then catch up from here onwards. And yeah, anything you want to shove in the comments, bang it down there. So hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Catch you later, guys. I'll see you in the next one.